back to Comic Beyond. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the Daredevil Batman crossover. And I know we already covered the second one, and I'm doing this a little bit out of order. But at the time, the second one was actually my favorite out of the two. And now circling back and checking out the first one again, I actually enjoy both of them. And so, since the Batman movie's coming out next week, I wanted to try to do something Batman themed. So I was like, you know what? I want to give the first Daredevil Batman crossover a second chance. So I reread it, and honestly, I enjoyed it a lot better now than I did before. I think before it was maybe just the art style that I wasn't overly, on with. But honestly, the art works for me now, I guess. The story works for me now because there's certain aspects that's in there that I thought was really creative. Visually, it's just a really cool, fun book to look at. Um, and then for me as a fan, ultimately, it's just cool to see Batman and Daredevil sharing a page together. This is almost like these 90s crossovers with DC and Marvel are almost historical moments because we'll probably never see these types of crossovers again. So, being a fanboy of both these characters, I think you just, even if it wasn't the greatest story in the world, you still just got to get the enjoyment that you're seeing a comic book put together that has these two characters. That's almost how I felt when the Batman TMNT crossover came out the first time. Being huge fans of both Batman and the Turtles, never thought I would ever see that comic or them in an animated movie together. So that being said, I wanted to come back, talk about the first Daredevil Batman crossover, and bring it back or whatever. So, that being said, I did enjoy this book better now. I think I enjoyed the artwork a lot more better because I just kind of pictured it being a more animated type style. So I was on board with the artwork. For me, sometimes artwork's key. Even the story, if the story's not too good in the comic, at least that the artwork's captivating enough to hold your attention while you finish your story. So I got back into it. This story is Batman's doing detective work at the same time that Murdoch is. They cross paths, and then they ultimately team up to stop Harvey Dent, aka Two-Face, from pulling off a scheme. And then, of course, their crazy antics ensue because it can't be a superhero crossover without the two of them fighting. So those are the enjoyments I got of this. Seeing them sharing a panel, seeing them, square off with one another was fun. There's a moment in the book where they first meet and they're doing a little scuffle. Batman throws his batarangs. Daredevil catches them right in front of his face, but in the image, it looks like devil horns sticking up from the way he caught them. Pretty cool image. It was fun. And then there's a scene where they're running across rooftops. Batman's like, I got a faster way of doing this. He calls the Batmobile, hops in the Batmobile, and leaves, poor Daredevil trying to scale rooftops. And so Daredevil kind of found the humor in that. Throughout the story, Batman doesn't overly believe that Daredevil's really blind just because of some of the abilities he's doing. I found that funny. But the most creative thing I found as far as the story goes is they made Murdoch and Harvey Dent actually go to law school together. They actually knew each other from college. And I found that actually kind of interesting. I mean, if you're going to tell the story, use him as a villain, what better, I thought that worked, they're both the lawyers, attorneys. It would make sense that they would go to the same college. That being said, this book has the Elseworlds label on it. And thinking about it now, it makes sense that these crossovers would be Elseworld books. So this is totally different Earth from where, Daredevil belongs in the Marvel Universe. So who's to say in this world that makes sense, that they went to school together. So I really enjoyed that creative idea. I thought that was really cool. So ultimately, of course, they join forces after they fight one another and they realize they're on the same side. They take down Two-Face and his scheme he was going through, and one of the fun parts I found was at the end of the story, after they've stopped Two-Face, which has a really good panel of Batman and Daredevil just kind of posed, standing over the bad guys at the end. Um, at the end of the book, there's like 2 pages of Matt Murdock and Bruce Wayne at like a charity ball. And, they're humoring each other because they both know who they are, even though if they're trying to act like they don't. And Batman basically tells Daredevil, just stay in your city because there's nothing for you here. Your idea of justice is different from my idea of justice. And so Daredevil drops the cheesiest line, but just it was still cool, some cool cheese. But Daredevil's like, "Are you daring me to come back?" So with a smile. And so that's how the book ends. With a little bit of cheese, but all in all, it was a fun crossover. Kind of glad I did go back to revisit it. I think it was a good idea because I really enjoy it now. At some point, I'm gonna do like a top 10, top 15 maybe list of my favorite crossovers. And this one might have found itself a spot. It's a book that doesn't take itself serious. It knows what it is, so it kind of has this silly humor without the book or whatever. But to me, that's the joy of it. That's what's fun about it. It doesn't take itself serious, so you can tell a fun story, and not have it have to be overly grounded in reality or whatever. Um, I think that's what I enjoy about older comics. Today's comics kind of got away from that a little bit, but that's a whole nother tangent. But no, I just wanted to do a review on this. I was actually going to do some other crossovers, but you know what? I wanted to read a little Daredevil Batman, so that's where we're at here. And then I'm going to continue to do a Batman themed week. I'm actually going to try to drop 2 videos next week in preparation for the Batman movie, which I'm excited for. So can't wait to see that. Stay tuned. More Batman stuff coming. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.